So, we are in the 1:30 budget hearing, October 30th, 2017, and I will turn it over to Cy Kelly to discuss where we are in the budget.
Just want to give you a brief update. Budget hearings start tomorrow with the sheriff and engineer, and then on Wednesday we got Judge Fuller, Data Transportation, and Board of Elections.
I had a question. Why is data coming in?
They did not want to do it during the community enhancement grant portion, and they felt they needed more time than what would be allotted. So we just scheduled them to come in at that time. Karen has prepared, here are the budget summaries for the hearings this week. Karen has prepared a summary. She has analyzed each budget hearing and
great.
done a snapshot
Okay.
for you of what she sees.
In the order as they're going to be presented, or?
Yes.
Good.
Grab your coat.
We are working on the rest of them to complete the big books
Okay.
that you guys all love to carry around. And we should have those done by Thursday for the remaining budgets. Auditor Kaitza, I believe the 5-year forecast on Wednesday.
Yes, I'll have it for you Wednesday. In fact, we've got the draft, second draft of it today, so we'll have some nice numbers to report.
And then Karen and I will also be doing more analytics and reporting on the budget requests for 18.
So then in preparation for tomorrow,
For tomorrow, for the hearings this week.
Yes.
That's the information we just passed out today.
okay, that we need to make sure we read. Okay.
So theoretically, just day by day, if we just do what's, for tomorrow, for example, the ones we need to concentrate on tomorrow, if we want, we're reviewing, it would be Bosserman and Martin.
Correct.
Okay.
Are you both coming in?
Yes.
Excuse me.
That's you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all I had. I don't know if you guys have any other questions.
Have you added up totals at this point?
I'm still,
Or are they
it's still out of,
too soft to,
yeah, and hopefully I'll have totals for you on Thursday,
okay.
where we're at, if any cuts need to be made, and so forth.
This is a subjective question. Are the various directors, elected officials being conservative, in your opinion?
On some things. On some things that I've seen so far, but it's no different than any other year.
So there are some areas that we'll have to take a look at.
And you should have been provided with business plans from all the electeds and directors that have submitted them. You can read through those, and there's some summary in there what they're going to be asking for in 2018 as well.
In each one of those business plans, there is a chapter on the organizational charts, and they've all done a good job in identifying if they're asking for any new positions in their areas. So something for you guys to consider as you're looking at those things. Okay?
Okay.
What are the big capital expenditures that are proposed at this point?
Vehicles are the big ones. Did you see any others? Oh, the
Voting
voting
equipment
machines.
back in? And that's so dependent on what the state does, State House does, and that's so up in the air. I mean, it might be in the capital budget this coming year. They're talking about that.
I assume they're asking for it all until the... yeah.
Correct.
So other than vehicles, any, and obviously the voting equipment, any other?
Any big capital items? No. I do know the Record Center is asking for a new archive writer that is out of date. And that was roughly $69,000 for that. But we will have a capital list for you.
Okay, good. That's right.
And I've already seen the engineer's 5-year plan. He does a really nice job of laying it out, so year by year you can see exactly what's planned and so on. what basic assumptions on compensation and benefits?
They're a little high right now. There's a lot of requests for new positions or to fill vacant positions, so we're going through there and trying to come up with a list for the three of you to look at.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there's some constructive review before it gets to us. I always try to choose the right words. I have a couple of questions. Question number one, Commissioner Finn mentioned capital expenditures. I assume the new courthouse remodeling will be in next year's budget?
Yes.
I think we're guessing around $2.5 million.
And before the end of the year, I plan on creating a building improvement reserve fund and transferring some money into that
This year.
before the end of this year,
Is that to start setting money aside for the Career Center?
for both projects.
And a presentation was made about a week and a half ago regarding a vehicle fleet. Is there going to be a recommendation on that for the new year?
Yes, John Melvin is working on the questions that you had brought up about the service center, so once we get that analysis done, then we'll bring it forward.
That'll have a lot to do with what vehicles we purchase or don't purchase, other than, I guess, the sheriff's office.
So that should,
I told John I want to shoot for the first week of December to get this finalized for the fleet.
okay.
The blanks that we see here, are those,
They're there in case we need them
okay, for more discussion?
for more discussion, or as you review and as we continue our review,
Okay.
if we need to bring someone else in.
Okay.
As we go through these presentations, we may find one that we think requires or needs. Okay.
Or they could be callbacks.
Now, the sheriff last year, I know, added a new station to his budget, and I think his head count, if I recall, looking at the numbers, it's like 206. But I think that's pretty close to where he was a year ago. He budgeted additional heads, and probably, and I think he filled most of them, if not all of them, but then he may have had some attrition or vacancies in other areas.
Do you want to answer?
That's kind of your world.
Well, I think there's some about the vacancies and the positions they're asking for on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, right now, on the LA side, it's 16 vacancies. As of the day they list the salary spreadsheet, so that's where I took the numbers from.
Yeah, under the sheriffs and deputies line. Okay. So 23 vacancies, if I'm adding them right. And then they're proposing 15 plus 2, 17 new positions?
Yeah.
So for a total of 40
30
vacant and new
Oh,
positions.
okay.
But no
Thanks, yeah.
vacancy built into the new budget, I assume, at this point.
They are there.
Vacancy, is
The
it?
vacancies are in the budget.
Oh, okay, okay.
We normally handle that, though.
They're in there right now for full year, so we're working with them to get those corrected.
Figured out what the right number should be. Okay.
And we're still finalizing the list, and we'll provide you a list of those for tomorrow's.
The sheriff, I know, had talked about, and we'll get into this more detail tomorrow, but had talked about some jail projects. Is that in the capital outlay? It's under the jail,
Correct.
or org key, whatever it's called.
They just went out to, they just picked an architect to do that body scanning project, so the money that was budgeted this year will be carried over until next year.
Commissioner Lewis, for Don, Mike, any other questions?
Anything else
George,
for
you want
now? George,
any
anything?
questions at this point?
Okay, okay.
this may not be the right time to have this conversation, so I'll just be very vague, and then you can, we talked about a technical fund this morning with one area. Is this a good time to have that conversation? We'll do it later.
Later. That's all I have.
Okay, all right. Well, with no other discussion for the hearing, we close the hearing? Is that the,
Until 9:30 tomorrow morning.
we recess the budget hearings until 9:30 tomorrow morning? Okay. So, and then we go back in session then, Jen? At 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to